Mhm. 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 What's going on there, kings and queens and everybody in between? It's your boy MFC coming back at you with yet another edition of the greatest podcast you've ever heard, the Clout.Wav podcast, featuring the great one, the omnipotent one, the ever so omnipresent one, Subtle Fraudulence. That's right, he's the guy that is right over there. So, how you been, man? You doing good? I mean, hopefully you haven't been playing Valorant, because apparently there's some spicy waters to be treading these days.
I don't play Valorant. Like, that is one of the only free to play games I haven't even like tried to play. But that's because Fortnite has unfortunately stole my soul, because everything is good about that game except for like
You want the Spider-Gwen costume, isn't it? That's what you want.
I actually do want that costume. I'm kind of mad. It's at the end of the fucking battle pass, so you have to go through 50 levels in the battle pass just to get this one character, and then there's extra levels to get like upgraded versions of some of the characters that you get throughout the battle pass, which are also cool characters. Like, one of them is like a bear inside of like a giant like jelly version of a bear. It is very hard to explain. It's like an alien that's like controlling a robotic bear, sort of, but it's made out of gelatin, and it just looks really cool.
Right.
Shit like that. I get really mad when that game has like really cool shit, because then you have to play the game. But it's fun to play with friends.
I hear you. I hear you. In my neck of the woods, well, it's not Valorant or gaming related at all. You may have been wondering why there is a blank spot on my poster. And I'm going to tell you right now. Remember how I had friends, aka family, that came over because they knew the hurricane was coming, so they came here a little bit in advance? Well, I left my room unattended, and the 8-year-old decided to say, "Oh my God, nice posters." So if you can't tell, the eyeball poster's not even affixed to the wall anymore, because it's got a dent. So it's literally being held up by the Metroid poster and the little pins of the Frost and Noob Saibot decals. Now you may be saying, but what happened to your centerpiece? What happened to the best one of all? The Yu Yu Hakusho? Well, he knocked it off the wall, and now there's a big dent in the corner, so it can no longer adhere itself to the goddamn wall. The dent is right here. I don't know if this is going to show up very well. If I put it sideways, you might be able to tell it's kind of crooked. Like, it's, yeah, there you go. Like, you see how it's not straight on the edge, so it doesn't stick to the wall because this part juts out of the corner. And look, it's awesome. It's amazing. And now it's ruined. It's worthless. I mean, I could just, sit there and like place a bunch of weight on it and try to flatten it out myself, but I'm not a steel worker. I'm just upset and I want to complain about it, so this is me venting. And you want to know what I did in retaliation? I said, 8-year-old, now you listen here. As much as I want to chop you in the throat, you're an 8-year-old, you get handsy. Don't go in other people's room and touch their things, otherwise I'm going to go into your room and touch your things. So what did I do? I decided to take his handheld device. I know, he loved that tablet, he really did. And I decided, because I had a tablet that looks just like it, to just show him what it looks like when it's damaged. Gave it back to him. He was like, "No, Mom's going to kill me." And I was like, "Yeah. That's tough. That's tough. Mom's gonna get you." Mom looked at her tablet, was so upset and distraught. And I said, "Oh, don't worry. That was my tablet. I'm not worried about it. He didn't break it. I was just trying to teach him a lesson." And if you could see the fear in that 8-year-old's eyes, he now knows touching my things is not off the table. And no one had to strike the child. See? That's what we call good old leadership. But the reason why I bring this up is because if I can get my stuff taken advantage of without my consent and not feel like killing the child, then some people should be able to go out and not kill their sister at 4:30 a.m. because they thought their younger sister was stealing their boyfriend, because apparently they had flirtatious voice lines being shared amongst each other over Valorant voice chat. Like, hello? What are we doing? Imagine you wake up and you find out that a sibling killed the other sibling because they thought their younger sibling was talking to their man over a game of Valorant. And to be so insecure to think that your younger sister your blood, who, according to the story, you share a room with. They were asleep together. She woke up at 4:30 a.m. and popped her super and just said, stab, 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 stab. And it's weirder because she even says, Faith Marzin, the stabber, the O.J. Simpson in this case, went along and told everyone, well, I knew that my family would need to be asleep because I didn't want to wake them up with the commotion. So I can only imagine you wake up at like 10:30, go, oh my God, somebody murdered my sister. No. Like, I don't know, this whole thing could only have happened in one state. Yes, it happened in Florida, Orlando to be specific. But Florida woman is just as crazy as Florida man. And you may be saying, well, what were their ages? The killer was 21. The victim was 20. So it's not like they were like super far apart. They clearly grew up together. Damn near a grade apart. You know, I don't know, man. It's just weird. And like during all the reports I've seen, I haven't heard not a little bo peep, not a lick, not even so much as a speech bubble or a blurb from the boyfriend. Because, like, you know, that's got to be weird.
Yeah. So it looks like Fatia is might be how you pronounce her first name. She decided to buy a set of knives off of Amazon to stab her sister. Like, so she had the wherewithal to purchase the knives, wait for them to show up to her house, wait for everyone to go to sleep, and then stab her sister. She's facing a first degree murder charge, and like,
oh, she's the one that called the cops, by the way. She really pulled the, oh my God, come quickly.
Okay,
She did a whole case closed episode.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. Like, what the hell? Why would you? Okay. Anyways, obviously there's something going on because she decided to kill her sister. She
by
decided
stabbing
to kill
her in
sister.
the heart, by the way.
Right. Over some dude on Valorant? Like, come on now. And
allegedly, it wasn't even voice chat. Apparently, it's message chat, according to some of the articles.
In-game chat, apparently. Just text chat. Like, what the fuck? Like that? Apparently, it was because he said that he loved the sister. Like, he said he loved the sister, but like that doesn't mean he's in love with her. You know, it could have just been like a familial, like, oh, hey, I love you. I have love for you, or whatever. You're a great person, or whatever. Does the boyfriend even like live in Florida? I haven't seen anything that says that he lived out of state.
It seems like he's the phantom man because nobody talks about who he is, how old he is, where he live at, and if he even has an opinion.
It's so strange. I don't know why it's like that, but hopefully more will come out.
Could you imagine he wake up and he's like a long distance relationship? He just wake up, check the news, sees Valorant trending, sees his picture of his girlfriend, gets curious and finds out the rest of this? Brother.
Exactly.
I can only imagine what's weighing on that dude's conscience. He's like, did I cause this? Am I the problem? Like, trust me, I don't think this is going to be the last time we hear about the story. There will be more details coming through.
Also, I wouldn't place the blame on him. Obviously, it seems like there's clearly something that was going on with this girl that we don't know about yet, that might come to light, may not come to light, but like clearly there's something like wrong with her that needs to be like addressed in some kind of way, because you don't just decide, you know what, now that I've been crossed, I'm gonna kill her. Like, I'm gonna kill my sister. It's like, there are other steps. First, why don't you start just like yelling at your sister or something like that? Don't go straight to murder. Like, what the fuck? It was a planned murder. So yeah, there's some...
like, we don't even know if there was a discussion that they were having or if they even talked about it. It looked like she went straight to life ender.
Right.
And she bought a brand new kitchen set of knives to do it. Like, that's one of the parts that trips me up the most. Like, you went ahead and said, nah, the knives we got at home, not good enough for this. Got to get the premium stainless steel.
Damn, man. Look how hard it is to be a parent now. You can't even like see your kid buy some knives without thinking, wait, what are you up to? What are you doing with these? Hey,
what are you doing with this fine cutlery? Hello, what's going on? You want to talk about it?
We got knives at home. You don't need to buy these. Like, what the fuck? It's so strange. Like, the whole thing is so strange. But she's facing first degree murder, and I don't see any situation where she's gonna get off.
Nah, me either. Not at all.
It's your own sister. Like, nah, it's not gonna go well. I don't know. There's something in the water in Florida, man. Like, there's something in the water over there. The PvP zone activates itself yet again. Like, there's no way, dude. There's no way. I've yet to meet someone who's like actively living in Florida who's not like on guard at all times for something. Maybe one person, but like she's a legacy Florida person, so I don't think. And maybe that's before they infected the waters here, you know. But anyways, holy shit, there are more things to talk about.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot because you brought up Caroline Farrow, and
oh my god, speaking of crazy things. Speaking of crazy things, I mean, if you don't know about Kiwi Farms, the website, first and foremost, if you ever look up any sort of like internet personality that has faced any sort of like turmoil or like vitriol from the public, you're going to find a Kiwi Farms article about them that talks about every single thing they've done. It's going to have all kinds of like horrible language about them. It's going to be, you know, maybe racist, homophobic, transphobic, you know, all the phobics in there, you know, the sexist, you know, whatever. It's going to have all that shit in there. And it's going to maybe even tell you where they live. So yeah, Kiwi Farms recently got taken down. And as a result of Kiwi Farms being taken down by the streamer Keffals, a woman, Caroline Farrow, who is friends with J.K. Rowling and allegedly a trans activist in the UK. She is being investigated for having a Kiwi Farms profile. So basically, they're like, we know that you've been up to something, and so we're gonna investigate this further. She might have had some posts on there that are not befitting of a activist. Oh, well, no, she was an anti-trans activist. She was not a trans activist. Some articles are like titling this incorrectly. She was an anti-trans activist. That's why she's friends with J.K. Rowling. You know, it all adds up, right? So this woman's being investigated by the UK authorities. And so far, nothing has come out of like what kind of post she made, but she did some pretty horrible things. Like she apparently doxed a trans woman on Kiwi Farms, which can obviously result in the harm of that person. Like with Keffals, the person who you know, made it a like purpose in her life to like take down Kiwi Farms. She got swatted like several times in the last 2 or 3 months. She got swatted so many times that she had to move. Like she had to move twice actually, because she basically described that she woke up to like a gun in her face and like a bunch of like SWAT team members in her home, under the impression that she was some kind of like armed terrorist who was going to like kill children. And so they came at her with all kinds of aggression, and then she had to deal with an investigation, explain her side of the story, verify her side of the story, and then make sure that that she was taken care of in a way where they could finally put her on the list where if someone tries to swat her again, it's not going to happen. But she, you know, went through that situation, moved. Someone doxed her again. They found out where she was staying at because she streamed like one time to give an update about the situation, and then they fucking swatted her at the new place she moved to. Had to leave there and then move to another location. And she, I believe, last thing she said is something about like possibly moving to the States to like avoid all kinds of like other like bullshit that's going on. But she got, you know, interviewed by CNN, you know, like interviewed by a bunch of other people because of how much nonsense happened, all because of like dudes going on Kiwi Farms and complaining about her. Which, if you have a hate boner for someone that hard, like even Caroline Farrow, who's being investigated, like which rightfully so, Like, if you have that much hatred for someone that you're gonna go to a fucking website and be like, yeah, that person lives at 616 Kalamazoo Lane. Like, go outside, do something else. Like, we're going to talk about this later, but Overwatch 2 came out, and Overwatch 2 did not have the best launch. Someone actually posted that because of how bad the Overwatch 2 launch was, they went out to a pub, met a nice guy, became like best friends with this guy one night, and is like, thank you, Overwatch, for allowing me to go outside and make a new friend instead of like losing my mind trying to deal with this game. Those people probably need to do that too. Like, go to your local pub, meet yourself a Kevin or a Jim, or, you know, meet yourself somebody who's gonna
fuck around and meet yourself a Jasmine.
Yeah, meet a Jasmine. I don't care. Meet whoever is gonna keep you sane, because obviously you're getting to that line where you become like, you know, Fatia Marzan, the Florida woman who stabbed her own sister over fucking Valorant. Like, you don't want to become one of those people. And
True.
If you're a part of like Kiwi forums, it becomes like very easy to get like roped into all these forums of like all these people, like, you know, throwing out F slurs and words, you know, oh bitch here, you know, whatever, right? Like saying all these like weird and ridiculous things about people, and like throwing out all these conspiracies that these people are trying to like ruin everyone's lives, and like they're actually awful people and shit like that. You get roped up into that, and then eventually you find yourself like, you know, with a group of people trying to break into a government building and say that the election was fake. We're gonna fix America. Like, you don't want to be one of those people.
And we'll do it by force, you know.
Exactly.
But Pharaoh did have, you know, her moment to say she was doing tea time. She was doing roast chicken. There was a knock at the door, 2 cops. Then she was like, and then at that point, the police officer forced his way, seized my devices, including an iPad that she said that her 10-year-old autistic daughter uses for homeschooling. I'm not sure why we had to talk about her 10-year-old autistic daughter at all, but I guess she's in it now. And then she claimed that she was frisked, shoved into the car, and that her crime, as she says, I read some insulting messages on the internet. Now, we all know there's a slippery slope. You could say it was an insulting, like, I could say, at subtle fraud. I hate your rogue poster. Why would she blush? She wouldn't even blush like that, you fucking idiot. Ooh, insulting, scathing remarks there, bucko.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between that and I think you, as a person, are a social degenerate, a miscreant, and you shouldn't even be able to see the light of day because you claim that you're a woman, but you're really a man. So shut the fuck up, testicles. Even that, very much more scathing, very transphobic, but still not enough to arrest a person. It's like, damn, you just an asshole. Cool. But we've seen, especially on Kiwi farms, it's not even that. Y'all be going for, oh yeah, I know where you live, asshole. And by the way, we're coming. And like, I'm not saying that Pharaoh did this. I'm just saying, if you're in a thread and then you are talking to the people who did the doxing, hey, I'm just saying, you might get caught up in the halfway. You might be a alleged middleman.
Speaking of getting caught up real quick, breaking news. Hunter Biden has been investigated by federal agents, and apparently they've collected enough evidence to charge him with tax crimes and gun purchase crimes. So all those nut jobs who were like, but what about Hunter Biden? They're getting their
wish.
Day to shine. Yeah, he's getting charged with something. It's obviously not the shit they were talking about, but he's getting charged with something. So like, I guess the Caroline Pharaohs are getting a small win today, but now the rest of us are getting a big win with like investigating this woman who's like trying to like play up the victim card of like, oh, you know, they took my daughter's tablet and they shoved me in the car all because of what I posted on the internet. It's like, yes, you posted that you wanted somebody to die. So it's not the same, you know.
It's one thing. Like, this is the thing. Like, some people think, oh, I just posted a nasty comment, and it's like, you may have had no actual want or hell, even realistic way to even act upon your quote unquote mean comments. But when you say things like, I'm going to kill you, you stupid bitch. That's a death threat.
Yeah. And
as unserious as it may be, but when it comes to litigation, there's no way that we can judge how serious a person was because we don't know your mental state. There's some things you just don't play around with.
Exactly. And our society, unfortunately, has had a lot of even somewhat recent situations where someone will post something like that and people will just be like, they're not really going to do anything. And then, like 4 days later, they're at a school with some guns. And it's like, okay.
I know it was a couple of years ago, but there was the whole thing where people thought that, oh, this dude ain't going to do nothing. This dude ain't going to do nothing. The next thing you know, we found out that the girl he was talking to ended up beheaded and posted on Instagram.
Exactly.
So it's like, these are some threats that you got to take seriously, especially now in this very volatile time where people will do anything for clout, even murder. Hell, you can't even trust your sister laying 6 feet from you at 4:30 in the morning, apparently. Much less the people you've never lived with and don't know.
It's too crazy out there, man. It's too crazy out there. Like what? Now, mind you, you shouldn't take this as everyone is gonna go after you all the time or whatever the fuck, because some people literally have this thought process of as soon as they go outside, they're in the danger zone. Like, don't worry, you're not in Florida, you're not in Daytona. All right, it's okay. But fucking these things happen. And you need to be aware of them, but you don't need to like assume that it's going to happen with every single person you meet, because there are signs, there are things. Like usually this happens with people who have something going on with them that you don't really necessarily know about. You know what I mean? Like with this girl who stabbed her sister, obviously there's something mentally going on that we don't know about, because when you get to a point where you're planning out a murder like that, there's other things going on in your brain that's making you think it's okay. If you're, this woman who's like posting the address of somebody and saying like, look at them, they I don't agree with the way they live or whatever, and then just assuming that no one's going to go to their house and do something, like obviously there's something in your brain that's telling you that it's okay when this is not okay. You should never ever post someone's address and say anything negative about them. Actually, you should just not post someone's address at all, because someone is going to show up.
According to the archive tweet that's been since deleted, and I know I hate talking about Vice fucking news, but Vice News has reviewed it. They reviewed the archive version of it to confirm the contents of said post, in which Hayden complained to the police about the post, together with posts where Pharaoh called her a pedophile, which I don't know if y'all know, especially in Western societies, that's a very serious accusation that could lead to not only the ending of your career, but the premature death of any ambitions you had of growing in any sort of field and or industry.
Speaking of that really quick,
especially if it's coming from a source that some people may have thought was called quote unquote credible. Even if it's just in the allegation stage.
Something recently related to that has come out. Like one of said people who spread this like weird misinformation that that most trans people, most gay people, etc. are groomers and pedophiles and whatnot. Matt Walsh has some audio from his old radio show that's been unearthed, where he just straight up says that 16 is the most fertile age, and that back in the old days they were impregnating 16-year-olds, and the only problem that's causing this not to be a thing anymore is that 16-year-olds now are not getting married when they're getting impregnated.
Please don't tell me he said bring back the 16-year-old marriage. My 16-year-old bride.
My friend, this was his advice to society to make things better in society, that we should go back to those old days where you could just marry a 16-year-old and get her pregnant and have kids and whatnot. And obviously nothing bad is going to happen. This dude said all that shit, and he is probably not going to lose his job at the Daily Wire because of it coming out now. People are already trying to defend it in some kind of way where all of that is groomer language, man. when you hear a grown man say that a 16-year-old woman is most fertile, then that's not. It's not in a scientific context either. It's literally in the context of we should be marrying 16-year-olds. No, groomer language. Like, investigate that man. You're gonna find something. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, come on.
But they go back to the Hayden thing. When they complained to the police about it, they said that the post had her address in it, obviously the pedophile allegation, and targeting her daughter, which also, let's be honest, the target audience on Kiwi Farms would see something like that, get that information. And we know about the swatting. We know about ordering 5,000 pizzas to your house. And let's be honest, when you're out here talking about people's family, you're over here talking about where they live. I mean, we've seen it time and time again with influencers and social media people and YouTubers. There are crazy people who will show up to your house unannounced and think it's perfectly fine at 2 a.m. in the morning. And separately, police have received yet another complaint made by a third party accusing Pharaoh of posting a cartoon on Kiwi Farms under a pseudonym. The cartoon depicted Hayden as a Nazi guard in a concentration camp. Hayden alleged putting comedy writer and transphobic Graham Linian in a gas chamber. The cartoon was accompanied by the phrase tranny gas. You know, a tranny gas chamber killing Graham Linian. So your guess is as good as mine on the validity of that, but the story goes on for quite a while with a lot of very scathing remarks being made from Pharaoh to Hayden. And it's a lot more than just some inflammatory statements. So if you guys want the article, I'll put that in the description field below. But I don't know, it's just weird. It's just weird how somehow we keep getting people doxing each other, telling on each other, and then somehow inevitably snitching on themselves for their own terrible behavior, and then trying to minimalize it like they didn't just do the fuck shit they just did. But speaking of people trying to minimalize doing the fuck shit they just did, so I'm looking at your shirt, and I'm seeing you chose the perfect opportunity to wear "My servants never die, but my servers always will." Because Overwatch 2, baby, free to play game, and it is gameplay side wise. We're not even gonna talk about the gameplay yet. Getting in was like the Royal Rumble. All right, you sat there, you saw your number go from 100,000 to 50,000 to 20,000 to 10,000 to 5,000 to 400. Then you're like, it's time to play the game. Server error. Then you get back in the queue. There are people who have, once again, these are all alleged claims. I can't talk about the validity of people I've seen on Twitter, but there are people who said they've been trying for 27 hours plus to get in. They've been grinding. They've been staying up late. They've been trying to get in, and they still haven't found a way to actually get to the main menu of Overwatch 2. There are some people who are top players who have complained about the way that the aim and the settings are. The game is bugged in a way where they can't actually aim at people. There are some people talking about the servers are giving you all types of no registration hits, no regs for short. And I've seen a lot of those because the servers are literally being held together by scotch, duct tape, and a good old fashioned spit job, because there's no way you could tell me that these servers were ready for the gates to be stormed in such a way. Like the players have blitzkrieged these servers. Like it's a wrap.
Don't forget the fact that what is it? In some instances, people were forced to put in their phone numbers for a verification process to basically verify that they're not bots, but their phone numbers were not even accepted in some cases, and so
so in some countries, you couldn't use your phone number. Number one. Number two, your Blizzard account has to be from the same region in which your phone is issued. Which, if you moved, I guess tough titty. That's number two. Number three, if you have a prepaid phone plan, I'm not sure why you would in 2022, but once again, I understand some people are in excruciating circumstances, and hey, having a prepaid plan is the best thing for you financially. So if you got one of those and it's on a prepaid phone, they're not going to let you do that. And I do believe if you're on like one of those virtual like phone devices, like I don't know if Viber's still around or if people still use those, but I'm hearing that that's on a case by case basis as well. So they didn't really think about foolproofing this. and they've obviously alienated a large portion of their player base. That was that number 4. And then even if we go even a layer past that, before we even see the main menu, there are people who downloaded the game, got their number in there, got into the game, finally get to the menu. They spent their $39.99 on the Waypoint early season pass, double downer, double decker monetary stipend. And all the things that they were promised to get from that $40 expenditure are not on their account. And there are some people who never paid and have those things on their account. So I don't know how we got here. The other thing I don't know how we got here is, before we even click on a game, there are some people who have gone out of their way to accumulate some good old time playing the game on their console, decided they wanted to move the PC, merged their accounts so they can get cross progression and have all their items no matter which device they play on. And when they merged their accounts, they lost all their progress. Now, some people have gotten some of their stuff back, but there are some people who are still in the dark, like, I cannot see it. I had all these skins. I had my entire character loadout all the way complete, but I no longer see it. And let's be honest, for some people, this was years of playtime. Years of accumulated hours in the gaming grind. For now. All because they moved on to Overwatch 2, a game that I still believe probably was not ready. I would have rather them delayed it until next year, so it came out simultaneously with the PvE and the campaign and all that stuff. Funnily enough, some of y'all may be like, but the PvE's not out. Well, I thought that was at launch. No, my friends. I know this launch has been very confusing because people didn't know. There are some people who still don't know. We're in day 2 that don't know the game's free to play. That's number 1. 2, there are people who
pause. I actually do want to address that, because the marketing for the game has been doing that on purpose. Up until the game actually came out, you could not pre-download the game. You couldn't do anything like that unless you paid for the the Watchpoint $40 edition, and that's the only edition they're really sending to people. One article that says, "Oh, hey, yeah, the game is free to play," or whatever. So read this article, and it says, "Hey, the game is going to be free to play." But Overwatch 2 Watchpoint edition. Here it is, guys. Overwatch 2 Watchpoint edition, $40. Overwatch 2. When you go to a store, you go to Battle.net, you go to Steam, all that shit. You go to find the game. It says Overwatch 2 Watchpoint edition, $40. It does not say anything about it being free to play until the game actually was officially released. Then it was like, hey, would you like to install this game?
Because the funny thing is, like, we all knew, well, I should say, the vast majority of us knew that it was free to play. But when you looked at the marketing and how they worded things, it made it seem like the only people it was free to play to for several months was people who owned Overwatch 1.
Right.
Then it was like, no, it's free to play. Anybody can play it because it's free to play. But the vast majority of the marketing made it very ambiguous, and they never clarified. I knew it was free to play, but that's because I had played the game on and off. I read a few articles. I read the whole breakdown that they had when they were like putting out the betas back in like July. So I knew. The people I told, they knew. But anytime I hadn't told someone on my friends list and we were talking about Overwatch 2, they were like, I ain't paying $40 for that. And I said, who said you had to? And then that's when the dominoes began to roll, and then the ideas started clicking away, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. So you're only paying for the PvE stuff that won't be here for like 6 or 7 months. So people paid $40 anticipating this whole campaign, this whole single player experience, and you won't be getting that for 7 months.
Wait, sir, you also get the premium battle pass that gives you characters like what is it, Nariko? No,
Kiriko?
Kiriko, sooner than 50 levels into the battle pass. So, there's that.
So the funny thing about that, right? At least the funny thing to me is, while I understand why a lot of people would be upset about that, Let's be completely honest here, folks.
You get these things free. The levels, it's not like you're going to be leveling up a Fortnite battle pass or anything here. Like you play like a few matches for a few hours, and you'll have pretty much all the characters that are like unlockable in the regular battle pass, the free battle pass. So like, luckily there's that. It is jarring to see level 50 out of what, like 80, I think.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like 70% into the battle pass. So that is kind of upsetting, and I get that, and I see that. But I would raise you this: people talk about this battle pass being like a easy way to like be pay to win, but I don't know if you guys know this, right? Because I understand this is a game that promotes you to switch characters. A lot of y'all didn't keep the same energy for Gundam Evolution because a third of that roster is locked behind that paywall.
Yep.
And I would argue you would progress through that battle pass a lot slower than you do in Overwatches. But for some reason, no one seems to want to talk about that.
It's because they're not really concerned about the Gundam game. Actually, I feel like there's a lot of people who don't even know that Gundam game is out. Like I saw people playing it, and I was like, oh wow, it really is Gundam Overwatch, and that's actually all it needs to be. It's pretty solid shit.
It's like, hey man, they don't mess with success. The only thing is they don't have roles.
So it's just like Q and then every man for themselves.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, hello? Like, come on, bro.
Vanilla Overwatch. They're taking it back. They're giving you the nostalgia of Overwatch 1.
Not vanilla Overwatch. Not like this, brother. But alas, it be what it be. It really do be what it be. But even if you push past that, I do think that Overwatch 2, in and of itself, mechanically, is a fine game. Now, if you want to talk about competitive balance, I have made plenty of videos telling you guys that the competitive balance of that game has been shot.
It's
been put out back like old Yeller, and it's never coming back. But if you just want a game where you can log in, have fun with friends, and just do stupid shit, Overwatch 2 is giving you that in spades. You are making all the crazy, over-the-top, stupid, dumb, inting content you want. It's all there. It's all there. To be honest, given the state that it released in, it's a content creator's wet dream as far as what you could do in the game. And out of all the free-to-play games that we've gotten in the past, year? Overwatch 2 is the front runner. Even as disastrous as this launch has been, look at Halo Infinite. Who's playing that? Splitgate is shutting down soon.
Huh?
Oh, you didn't know? Yes, Splitgate shutting down.
I didn't know. I don't. Maybe I saw one article about this before, but I didn't know that it was shutting down. Holy shit!
Yeah, because they're gonna put all their resources into a new product, so they're not gonna be adding any more updates. So the game is it's in a it is what it is state. So y'all gonna have to hold that for a little bit, I guess. I mean, Call of Duty might be fine. I mean, ain't nobody playing Battlefield. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, Battlefield's gotten updates, but it's
too late.
This is way too late. Yeah. Speaking of games that are just left in this is the state it's in or whatever. There was a little mishap that happened with Killer Instinct recently, where apparently there was a hacker who made online play literally unplayable, and so a top
you can only play player matches. Ranked is destroyed.
Yeah, ranked is destroyed. So what is it? I guess best Killer Instinct player ever right now. Nikki posted a tweet about it, and he was like, yo, you guys gotta fix this. This is terrible. This sucks, or whatever. We're gonna hopefully they do something about it, but we're gonna ride it out the way we have to, because this is how our game is or whatever. And what is it? Iron God, whoever owns Killer Instinct now, basically came out and was just don't worry, guys. We're on to fixing it. We've just updated something really big, and we fixed the online, so you guys can play now. And we're gonna, try and fix it so that we can try and avoid this as much as possible. So it's nice to see that for a game that appears to be left alone and not getting any updates, there's still people who are just huh? They've destroyed the game. Don't worry, we'll fix it. Unlike Titanfall. You know what I mean? So,
bro, it was crazy when Apex was getting hacked. When you died in Apex, a message popped up: "Save Titanfall 2." Huh? What? What's going on here? What do you like? How sophisticated has the hacker game gotten to where you're telling other people, "Hey, man, you got to save our game. We're dying out here.
Please,
We hacked
just
your new
wanna
game to
play."
tell you to save the old game." Like, all right, man, that's one way to get their attention, I guess.
Mhm.
And speaking of getting attention, Jack Black has never looked better. I don't know, this Mario movie's coming out and it's looking kind of crisp. I'm not gonna lie. Now, granted, it's just a trailer, it's just a teaser. But I will say, the teaser of this movie looks better than any of the Sonic teasers we got. Now, granted,
True.
Illumination does a great job of making things look good. Now, I don't know how the writing is. Illumination is like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde when it comes to movies that they do in-house. But Nintendo goes over everything with this fine-tooth comb, much to the chagrin of, let's be honest, a lot of us, because they definitely fuck a lot of things up. So let's just hope that the story's good. Let's just hope the story's all right. And I could be wrong. Maybe I'm in some euphoric state and I'm delusional. I don't think we saw Peach at all in that trailer.
We sure did not.
So, like, maybe she's already been kidnapped. Maybe, I don't know. But hey, Bowser's ship looks super sick. It literally looks like it's the Mario Sunshine like ending stage. I forget. It's not called Volcano Mountain. Whatever it was called. Corona Mountain? Might have actually been called Corona Mountain. Anyways, it looked like the mountain, but on an airship. Also, I am so glad that all the rumors and all the people who were talking shit about the movie, all their claims about Keegan-Michael Key doing the voice and Chris Pratt doing the voice, thought they were just going to be doing their regular, everyday, I do this all the time voice. Because Kamek don't sound like how you thought he was going to sound. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's a good voice. They actually were told, nah, bro, it's not y'all. You're the characters. Act right. And they did. Now, hopefully, if the story is just half as good as the animation quality, I'm sorry, Sonic 2. Yeah, you got bodied. You didn't cross the finish line as a video game movie of the year. I hate to say it. You're this close. You're this close. Wait, you were good.
That movie's coming out this year?
I thought it was coming out at Christmas.
Nah, April. That's right.
Never
April
mind.
7th.
All right, Sonic, you win this time. You win this time. The Mario movie was announced September with original December 22 release date, but the film has been delayed. All right, it was a delay. Saved by the delay, Sega.
Oh, maybe Sonic 3 will be out by then to compete with it, but like,
well, they said Sonic 3 is 2024, so
the movie looks really good. Chris Pratt, like, he only said like 2 lines, but like it seemed like I gotta hear some more because he might not be doing the best. He might have made the wrong choice for how he's trying to go for the Mario voice here.
Look,
but
I will say there is one thing that I think is hilarious about it. According to the people who are like looking at it at the live reveal, at like, some of these big like, public forum viewing spots, Jack Black happened. Oh, Kamek talk. Oh, Chris Pratt crickets. No reaction.
Oh,
stone
boy.
face.
Look, man, I would be fine if this was more of like a Bowser-centered movie because 1, Jack Black is kind of killing it, and like 2, Bowser looked really, really good in that trailer. This trailer looked like it was tailored towards Bowser, and I'm glad that it's aiming more to be like more of a comical thing. It's not trying to be like a serious movie, because I mean, there's cartoony shit happening, and Jack Black as Bowser, you have to like allow him to be, a cartoony man, which he's doing fine for Bowser. So yeah, looks like it's gonna be good. There was like a flash of Luigi with some dry bones, and like he didn't talk or anything, so we don't know anything about that yet. The penguins, that was surprising to see there. There was like an army of penguins that were trying to fight Bowser.
The pushy penguins, like, yeah, pull up then. And well, he pulled up, and they were not who they thought they were. I'll tell you that right now. I think they took down one Koopa Trooper with the snow shotgun, and then Bowser just said, "Kamek, you know what time it is." All right, whoop.
Exactly. So I think the movie will turn out to be fine. The only concern is Chris Pratt, but it honestly just seems like he would be like an outlier anyways. So if Chris Pratt is bad, the movie can probably still end up being good.
Exactly. Because what does Mario really need to say? But I do see people who are still trying to DEFCON 1 have this paranoia attack over, guys, I figured it out. It's an isekai. It's going to actually start with Chris Pratt and his family. He's going to get sucked into being Mario. And I was like, y'all just need to find a reason to hate.
I mean, it does look like it might be an isekai, which I fucking hate, but whatever. That's fine.
Hey, as long as
isekai. Sonic was an isekai.
Yep. It's just that they came into our world. That's the only difference. Hey man, sorry. Mask on. Mask off.
Some of the with the lines that Mario was kind of saying to Toad, it seems more like
he's been here before.
It kind of seems more like a fish out of water story for him. And I mean, if they do that, fine. It's weird to do it with Mario. I mean, everyone just kind of sees. With Mario games, it's usually just he pops up and he's like, I'm familiar with all these surroundings. And everyone's like, oh, cool. All right, whatever.
Hey, yo, Mario, since you're here, Peach got captured. Say less. Then he goes and handles his business.
Exactly.
But you want to know what he doesn't do? He doesn't sit there looking at Peach while they're gaming together. And then when Peach gets dropped, goes, you stupid, heartless, dumbass bitch. What the fuck were you thinking going out there? Were you looting, you stupid whore? That's not the Mario way. It does not Mama the Mia. It doesn't do that. But official glaucoma, apparently there's more videos of him yelling at his wife. And not only did he double down by saying, come on, guys, you guys don't know what you're talking about, because this might be my favorite double down in recent Twitch history. The first double down was, do you know what goes on in her country and how women are actually treated over there? Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Ask her about her country and how they treat women. I'm not doing anything. Y'all need to stop the overreacting. That's number one. And number two, the triple down. Triple down was great. Did you hear about the triple down?
The one where he's talking about like his gameplay, I think.
No, not that one. Not that one.
What's the triple down? You got to update me here.
The triple down is where he looks into the camera and he says, and I will continue to yell at my wife when she makes mistakes in critical moments in competitive games. I will continue to be this downtrodden force that breaks her back verbally at every crossroads and every transgression that takes place in Apex Legends. And they're getting bodied in gold and silver and plat lobbies, and it's come on, mate, you not y'all ain't playing in tournaments for money. It's not that deep. It's never been that deep. But I do see a lot of people who are saying that she needs to be banned and he needs to be deplatformed and all this other stuff. And I'm actually going to take his defense on this one. No, he doesn't. Now you may be saying, well, why are you I'm not defending the action. I still think it's a shitty thing to do. But let's be completely honest here. I've seen plenty of streamers that y'all like to simp and cap for when they're playing with their homies and they talk this crazy shit to their homies. Not even a peep. Not even an utterance. Not even so much as a gasp, a clutch of the pearls. Y'all think it's funny? Y'all clip it and y'all post it yo, man, he got him. And then some people are making the argument that you don't treat the wife the same way you treat the homies.
I will say this. Okay. If he's yelling at his wife and she is responding in a way where it seems like it's doing harm to her, like she's really being affected by this or whatever, then he should probably catch like a ban for a few days. He's like, yo, you need to cool off or whatever. But if he's like yelling at her and she's on, but yeah, like, what the fuck, bro? Some shit like that, then I don't think he should be like deplatformed. But yeah, if it's going way too far, like if he's like, because in situations where dude gets mad, he yells at his friends or whatever, the friends will yell back or they'll say something or whatever. You'll be able to tell that the friends are not like
not all the
like,
time
fucked up over this. Yeah, no, in the times when they do that and someone's actually getting fucked up or whatever over it, like it's not a joke, it's not a whatever. Yeah, that person should probably catch a ban too. But yeah, if the wife is not affected by it, it's shitty. He should not yell at his fucking wife, especially not on fucking camera.
In front of however many people's watching his stream. Like, I agree that he shouldn't do it, but there are people who are acting like this man is committing an act of terrorism right here on screen. I was like, bro, we've seen people get punched on stream and they're not banned, and we should do something about that.
I mean, yeah, they should get banned also. God, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, if he should at the very least get like some kind of a warning, of like, yo, you gotta relax, like you gotta cool it down. You can't. It's not good for you to have a stream where you're sitting here like yelling at your wife while she's playing this game with you or whatever. But the thing that's hard for me to take seriously is that when this dude yells at his wife. You remember the like that old like viral video of the like 10-year-old who's just like, hey, oh my god, he's offended me. How can he do this? He's ruining my life. Like it just seems like the grown-up version of that.
Yeah.
And so I just laugh because this dude sounds fucking cartoony, and like I wouldn't be able to take him seriously if he's like, if I was in the room and he's yelling or whatever. Well, one, I'd be like, yo, calm down. But two, I'd laugh at him because he just sounds cartoony yelling at this woman, especially over fucking Apex, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, you're not good and it's okay. Enjoy the game instead of like popping off every time your wife does something or whatever, or popping off every time you fuck up and then you want to blame it on somebody else because you're a trash human being. Like, come on, dude. But is he gonna get a ban? Probably not. Is he gonna get like deplatformed in any kind of way? Probably not, unless he keeps making it about this situation and keeps coming out and being like, yeah, I'm gonna keep yelling at my wife. And it's like, yeah, keep talking shit, dude. Then they'll get you out of here. Like, learn from Tate. They'll get you the fuck out of here no matter how confident you are that you're in the right or whatever the fuck. Like, you don't need to fuck around with people who have too much time on their hands, regardless of whether or not it's right. If it looks like Twitch might lose some people over this guy, they will gladly get rid of him. Simple as that. I mean, they got rid of fucking gambling and like that was making them a lot of money from a lot of streamers.
Here's the thing though, they didn't.
Oh, well, they got rid of like,
they got rid of 3 websites.
Specific gambling.
But you want to know what's funny?
What?
And this is wild to me. I don't know if you've seen. I know it's on live stream fails, and I know we can't ever take anything going on there seriously. But someone had documented the clips of the stream.
It's all from the same stream.
Yep, and it seems like but roughly every 20 minutes on average, there's a new clip of "You're terrible. What are you doing?" And it's just like, come on, brother.
What were you doing? You were looting? Why were you looting? They were at the door. They're going to come in the door and shoot him. Why didn't you see him come in the door and then psychically shoot at him to save me in my life? I had my shield up. What are you doing? It's just like, take the L, man. Actually, turn off the game. Go play something else, man.
But the thing is, like, he's not even good at the game.
Exactly. Turn off the game. Go play something else. Like, don't play League of Legends. But, play something else, man.
No, because then we're going to have a repeat of Florida woman situation. Somebody ain't waking up at 4:30 in the morning.
Exactly.
And it's just, I don't know. Like, I just don't feel like it's definitely something where you got to look at their audience. Like, how do you have an audience treating people like this, my guy?
I'm baffled by that. Like, why does he? How does he have an audience? And like, I mean,
Because I mean, he's gonna keep doing it if people still
him.
watch.
People come there for the spectacle, I guess. Like they laugh at him, you know. Like they laugh when he's like yelling at his wife and all that shit because they're like, look at this
Because it's not happening
nerd.
to me.
Right.
Yeah, you say you may be laughing at him, but y'all still giving him the ad revenue and y'all still donating to the stream, and like, so I mean, he's winning.
I mean, yeah.
If you look at, look at what's his name, Dark Side Phil.
That's who they're comparing him to, and it's like, yeah, DSP, your LTGs, your the whomevers. They're like, well, you're still giving them the money, the content, etc. And so, of course, this dude is gonna play it up, but he's a moment. He's not a lasting, big streamer guy or whatever. Like, he's not gonna become as famous as your DSPs or your LTGs off of this. He is a moment. In fact, the moment is already faded because TwitchCon is this fucking weekend. It's this weekend, so everybody's at TwitchCon and they're all living it up. And TwitchCon is going to breed all these fucking amazing moments that are going to completely overshadow this whole thing. And just like all these streamers saying they're going to TwitchCon has kind of overshadowed this. Like, people have already kind of stopped focusing on this dude and his fucking him yelling at his wife. So it's one of those things where it's like they should keep an eye on him, make sure that he doesn't get like abusive towards like his wife or whatever, and make sure that the wife is okay, because like if there's any signs that she's not okay,
because I believe she's a streamer too. So,
well, I thought that she just like they just stream together, but I don't know if like they have separate streams and he's like yelling at her while she's streaming on her own or whatever, in which case weird. But yeah, like it doesn't so far. I haven't seen any statements from her, but sometimes it seems like there's some lasting damage that's there that needs to be addressed. But if there isn't, like if it's not as serious as it looks or whatever, he's yelling and she's just kind of like whatever. Like internally she's laughing because his voice sounds like shit. If that's the case, then okay, don't. The most he should get is like banned for a couple of days for like going for still doing it and still doing it on stream or whatever. But like, yeah, if he goes too far, they got to address this. They got to like pay attention to it. So hopefully it doesn't get to that point. Hopefully it doesn't become a situation like that one dude who like stopped his stream to go like beat up his wife and shit like that. But
and just came people back like there was nothing to it.
Yeah, when it comes to situations like this, people are on edge, and so they're just gonna think about the wife and her safety, and so they're just gonna decide to overcorrect the situation to avoid having a problem where it's undercorrected. Because if they undercorrect the situation, someone could get hurt really badly.
And I just think it's a stupid situation that I don't think should have gotten this far. But like when you look at like the person's analytics, it's not like they were a popular streamer. It's not like they're world renowned.
Exactly.
It seems like they're more known for this than they are playing the game or even being on the platform in the first place. So honestly, if Twitch did ban him, it's not like they'd be losing anything.
Right.
It's not like he brings home big bacon. But at the end of the day, I done hit myself in the face with my mic. I guess I'm getting banned like Sneeko, bro. They trying to take me out.
I see.
Getting cooked.
So, speaking of that guy, yeah, if you guys didn't know, Sneeko's banned. They took care of him. All right, look, I know all the lore about this besides the most recent stuff, which is like apparently he got into some beef with like another red pill dude, and he multiple times like threatened to like assault this red pill dude's wife or something. Like he basically made like rape comments about the red pill dude's wife allegedly. I don't know too much on that, but I do know about the other time when he did something like that, where he was like watching a video from the YouTuber Chad, and he went on this like weird rant about how she needed to get fucked to not be a feminist. or whatever. And so he started like dry humping air and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do to you. And it's just kind of like, bro, that's not right to do that on camera. And other YouTubers and content creators like basically put out like tweets and videos where they were like, this dude needs to, like, something needs to happen, because this is like pretty serious, and that's not okay for him to, like, threaten that sort of thing based on like someone's video or his like perception of who she is and all that shit. So that, on top of all the like, increasingly extreme like red pill content where he's like going into all that shit about the Matrix theory and stuff, and also I don't know, putting a fucking Nazi on your platform, a banned Nazi on your platform, yeah, they were gonna come for you at some point, especially once they came for Andrew Tate, who wasn't doing these sorts of things. He was he was doing a different version of what you were doing. He wasn't getting like Nazis on and shit like that, but he was still saying some like wild shit about like women and whatnot that people found out. So Sneako's banned. His his secondary YouTube channel that was that had all that new content, it got banned. But they also banned his first channel, which had his old content, which was more of the what people consider to be his good content. Like, it sucks that he's banned, because he could have just actually been like a good YouTuber if he saw the line, stopped at the line, and was like, okay, let me go back and like save myself here. Because now this dude, I mean, he's out he's out a whole ass YouTube career. And he's been streaming and he's been like streaming and doing YouTube content since he was like 13, maybe younger than that. He like really built a lot of shit. But now he's selling shit like, Hustlers University type shit. Like, oh, I'm a very successful YouTuber, so here's how, how to become successful like me. Courses like that, which should usually that kind of shit that kind of stuff is just dog shit. So now he's, with his red pill brethren, streaming on their platforms. Well, not their platforms, on their like channels, and like being in like all these like podcasts and things like that to maybe give his take on what's going on. The Andrew Tate like press tour that happened after Andrew Tate got banned, where like he went on Tucker Carlson's show, he went on Piers Morgan's show. Sneako's not going to get to that level of fame, probably, but he unfortunately is probably going to get forgotten after like a couple of months, because you're not going to start a career on cozy.tv or whatever, or Rumbler, or any of those other platforms, because they are alternative platforms for a reason. Like, nobody likes them, and everyone's going to start off by going to Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, all of those platforms. If you're not on those, you're not really gonna like do too well. Maybe you'll make like you'll have like streams or videos that get like hundreds of views, maybe a couple of thousands of views, but nowhere near what you could have made before, where you could have been, having videos that have like millions of views and shit like that. Like, it's kind of over. Like, all that shit about becoming a bot and getting a day job and all that shit, he might have to do that now. Hey, man, he allegedly has like editor skills and shit, so
if you maybe save up and invest. That's one thing. Like, content creation, like, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, like, if y'all jump into that like full time, it becomes a thing that eats up so much of your life, because if you don't have an editor, yeah, you got to record it, you got to edit it, you got to render it, you got to upload it, you got to curate all the content, you got to make your own thumbnails. And people think editing is like some simple thing. Like, if you're someone who gets lucky, blessed by the algorithm, and all you got to do is slide some clips over each other, that's it, and press the S key a couple times, sure, have at it.
Wouldn't that be great?
But if you got to go in there, you got to chroma key stuff, you got to make sure you can cut out very different things that have it on a tracked animation. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. It's tough. But it be like that when it be like that, especially when it be like that. But yeah, content creation, it is a lot harder than you think.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about deplatforming with what is it? Glaucoma. God, what a fucking weird name. With glaucoma, but Sneeko is a better like example of why people push for deplatforming because he was becoming a problem. I think around the time he did actually get banned, I didn't really see him brought up as much, so I wasn't like I didn't know if like he was still making content that was like that bad, or if he was actually starting to like slow it down because he was getting into beef with other red pill content creators and shit like that. So it's like that can distract him. But yeah, it was one of those things where it's like the same reason why they banned Tate. You know, once you see that like kids are eating this shit up and they're living it like it's reality and deciding that they're going to be they're going to take like the most two head part of the dogma and apply that to their life and and be like, yeah, women are shit, they need to make me a sandwich, that kind of bullshit or whatever, and adopt all the like more negative parts of the shit that he's doing. Yeah, you got to do something about the dude. Like the ban is probably not permanent. He'll probably come back at some point, but who knows? It's YouTube, so like when YouTube bans you, like that's
it can be the kiss of death sometimes because they have banned people, and even when they are clearly caught with their pants down being wrong, it take them a while to give them their accounts back. And if you've been out of the game, you haven't uploaded, you haven't been able to produce content for a while, that can hurt your metrics, and you're not gonna get compensated for that, not by YouTube,
right?
And especially during that off time, if you're banned, your videos aren't up. And if your videos aren't up, you're not even making money from the old stuff you posted. Your revenue stream just stopped, died. That is a doornail.
Exactly. But, we've shown that we actually, he's brought on someone who is a pure example that deplatforming works. Because Nick Fuentes was, banned from the platform. There's arguments going around that like, oh, well now the next even worse person who's going to be like a full blown Nazi and blah 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 is going to come in and manipulate our kids. And it's like, no, he showed that guy and showed that guy already got like they already took care of him. And he has to have his own platform. Nick Fuentes like was on like a Destiny video or some shit like that, and he talked about the fact that even PayPal has banned this dude, man.
Oh
like,
man!
If the next Nazi whatever comes along, that dude is not going to last very long either. He's like, people are going to be like, this guy's a Nazi, and then YouTube will be like, oh, out of here. Like it's not going to happen like that because they've already like gotten rid of other people who are on the platform pushing that kind of like propaganda in the first place. Like everybody talks about 2016 YouTube and how it was filled with like, Sargon of Akkad and like all these other
God,
like
the throwback.
Yeah, and like the golden one and all those other dudes who like were just saying like they were just chatting, man. They were just chatting the whole time about the stupidest shit that came to their brains, and nobody was really checking them. And when people started checking them, then the platform was like, yeah, these guys are actually like pretty bad for the platform, and they got most of them got banned in some kind of way. And now you don't hear from any of those guys. If you do, it's like in the most underground, whatever. Like you don't hear about them in the public zeitgeist, and that's what's important.
When they got some blackmail on someone who ain't canceled yet, like, nah, man, if I got smoked, you get smoked.
Exactly, the Ice Poseidon of it all, where it's like, Miskiff, I created you. Now I'm leaking these DMs, which was like, Poseidon, we don't trust you anyways, and also we kind of don't care. We already knew that he was this kind of guy, so.
It's like, who are you shocking with this? Because it wasn't me.
It's like Miskiff used to say the N-word. It's like, I always kind of knew in the back of my head he probably was that dude. So that doesn't really affect me right now. You got serious things about the here and now that he's got to, deal with. Also, is Miskiff going to TwitchCon? Because,
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time somebody was banned and then went to TwitchCon.
He's not even banned, is he?
No, I mean, I'm just saying it wouldn't be the first time that someone who you wouldn't think would be somewhere went somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, people who have been banned have shown up.
Shout out to Gideon. Yeah, like people who try to defend Sneeko will be like, "Oh, they're cancel culture is terrible, and it's trying to ruin everything. They don't want men to be men." You know that bullshit. It's like, no, it's all fine for you to like have your masculine spaces and whatnot. It's fine for you to like celebrate masculinity, but he's not doing all that. He's telling you that you're a part of the matrix and that the government is against you and trying to do all these other crazy things, and that there's a conspiracy to like kill you because you're a man and you exist. None of those things are happening right now. Like none of it. And if you listen to that guy, then you have more problems. So like they're just like, we need to get rid of this guy, and maybe you guys will like stop acting crazy and spreading shit like this because you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Masculine spaces are still protected. Dudes can still can still get together and be like, yeah, dudes rock. It's fine. Sneeko unfortunately went too far, and he's suffering because of it. Content creators who go too far have to suffer for it, whether it's left, right, center. It doesn't matter. I mean, shit. Look at Destiny. He's center, and he suffered for all his shithead behavior too. He's still on YouTube, but like he suffered on Twitch. So, what can you do about that, right? The platform is allowed to get rid of people that they deem to be like detrimental to the growth of the platform or the profit of the platform, or detrimental to the users who are on the platform. Like that's just it. There's no conspiracy to get rid of all the right wing dudes or the red pill dudes or black pill dudes or any of that shit. I mean, most of them are dumbasses anyways. It's just as long as you're not being a dumbass that's like telling kids to like assault women and shit like that, then you'll be fine. Like they won't care.
So we can hope.
I mean, they won't care. That they're not going to do all that. People want to make it seem like it's 1984 or some shit like that. Or was it 1984? Is that's the Orwell novel that everyone quotes? It's like, it's 1984, fascism, whatever. It's like it's not like go outside, man. Like drink some water, you'll be okay. It'll all be okay. The Sneeko not being on YouTube is not going to like destroy YouTube. It's not even going to destroy his fans. They're just going to find something else to watch. Most of them just like the spectacle of him being like wild and out anyways. And I mean, now you can migrate to better content creators like Qyz Network, who just became #1 on fucking Twitch. He's wild
is he
out with the boys.
Is he #1 on Twitch, or is he #1 in the US?
It might be #1. He said #1 on Twitch, but you'll have to like fact check that. I don't know if it's like #1 overall.
He's only trailing Casamito. I don't know who that is, but
I don't know who that is either. But yeah, he recently got like what, like 80,000, 80K subscribers, something like that, 60K, 80K, one of those. But he hit a milestone. He's the top of the top. That dude, he makes content that shows that positive masculinity is a thing. Men can have their spaces, have fun, whatever, and no one's really going to give a fuck. He recently, I think this week, him and like Aiden Ross and some of his other friends and his crew and shit, they're just doing like e-dates. So they have all these like Instagram girls and TikTok girls and whatnot on there, and they're just doing like e-date content, which that's totally fine. Dudes having fun together, and then dudes having fun with like some women involved, whatever. All of that is fine. It's not breaking any TOS. YouTube doesn't care. Twitch doesn't care. It's fine. He's not going Sneeko with it, which is important. Like you can have like a version of like, red pill content creators or like masculine centered content creators who are completely fine and allowed on the platform. Like it's not doing any harm. So people who complain about that, go watch Kai, or go watch any of his dudes, like Your Rage or Bruce or whatever. Like go watch all of them. I actually watch Chris, because He was the dude who saw the dream face reveal and was like, "He's so beautiful, man. I just
that man looks like if you got an AI and you typed white dude and you told the AI to draw it, that's the face it would generate.
Yeah, that's why I didn't care about the reveal. I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then I went on with my day. People were trying to like roast him and whatnot. It's like y'all just want to get your like 15 minutes of fame off of like roasting a dude, which is stupid. It's a waste. Dream is doing fine. Hopefully he's not like being affected by the people who are like talking shit about the way he looks and whatnot. Because you open Twitter after you finally reveal your face to the world, and like hashtags like he's ugly or like put the mask back on and shit like that start trending. You might want to like throw some things or hurt some people or cry or whatever. And so hopefully that dude is okay. I mean, with the amount of money that he has and whatnot, I would think maybe he's fine. He's got friends in his corner and shit. So hopefully he's all right. And it's also really stupid that people were like going this crazy over the dude. Even if it's jokes, it's like, come on. Like he looks like a regular white dude. Like eventually some white dudes are gonna yeah, it wasn't that deep. That was the thing that got me the most. It wasn't that deep. But yeah, I mean, besides that, I have nothing else, man. I have nothing else.
I'm about on that. But anyways, thank you guys for watching yet another episode of Clout.Wav podcast. And oh my god, I shouldn't have scrolled on Twitter. It's literally the penguins throwing the snowballs, and then they have Squidward cut out from the SpongeBob episode. Yep. Yeah, they already got them. But anyways, y'all take care, enjoy yourselves, and make sure that you look out for Farah. If you don't know who Farah is, that's the new Pokemon that they released, which is just a alternate version of Girafarig, in which the tail and its head are coming out the same end. And it's probably going to have good typing and terrible stats. So, hey...
Terra typing is going to change everything. So,
you know what? I forgot that was a gimmick. You know what? You hold on. You might be right.
Anyways,
I
have myself a Dragon Jigglypuff.
Oh, brother. But yeah, take care, guys.